أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Peace be with you. My dear brothers and my dear sisters, this is the first time I'm talking to you straight away. I didn't speak for a long time and I was silent for months and years, and I'm sure you heard about the story and the accusations in France about me. And I wanted to say something about the whole issue, because I think that beyond what was said by the media and the media lynching and all the lies that you maybe read in newspapers and that was widespread everywhere on social media, it was and it is important for me to say something about the whole issue. The first thing that I wanted to speak about is the moral dimension of this story before talking about what really happened and the political dimension and the political setup that have been involved in this story and in the way we have to understand it. The first dimension is the moral teaching and what we have to get out of this. I know that you heard many things about what I did and what was said about what I did. And I think it's important to be very cautious beyond what the media said about what happened. Yes, I made mistake. I didn't live up to my principles. There were contradictions, and I think that this is important to acknowledge. And all this story, all what happened during my time in jail, helped me to come back to the essential teaching that I thank God for helping me to go through all this process, the healing process that I went through when I was isolated in my cell and asking God for forgiveness and trying my best to reconcile myself with my principles. I know that some of you were disappointed and shocked, and I think at that on that dimension, in this for this question, it's important for every one of you to just think about, you know, what happened. I'm but a human being. What happened to me could happen to anybody, and it's important for every one of you to try to get a sense of how do I deal with this, with someone who is acknowledging mistakes and moral shortcomings, and to try to get a sense of in the light of the Islamic teaching, what do we do with this? How do we go along with a brother who is just acknowledging shortcomings and trying his best? The most important thing, and this is part of all the message that I have been teaching for years, is to get a sense of brotherhood and forgiveness, and to try our best to help our brother or our sister to be a better human being. And what I'm asking you is to just deal with this as my brothers, as my sisters, and to help this process to occur through prayers and supplications and love, because at the end of the day, this is the most important teachings that we got out of our message, out of our religion. That's an important thing, and I do not diminish or underestimate the moral dimension of this whole story, trying my best to be a better human being, which is, you know, the destiny of every one of us, and trying and asking Allah to help and to go along the whole process, the healing process, which is important. Having said that, and I think that it is a critical time for me, through all these tests, to come back to God and to try to be consistent and to be liberated from what was part of my life before. What is important today is also to get a sense of the political side of the equation, because, you know, the way I was treated by the French judicial system has nothing to do with the moral question, the moral issue. They don't care about the moral issue. The French power and all the people who are involved in this, they don't care about the moral dimension. What was clear for them, they had to destroy the reputation of someone who is vocal in the West, vocal in France, vocal in Europe, about the reality of being a Muslim, So the very essence of my message, saying we are Western Muslims, we are American Muslims, European Muslims, French Muslims, and we are an added value in this society. There is no contradiction between us and the society. This was the target. This is what they don't want to hear. They don't want to listen to this message. And I was at the forefront of this message. And by destroying my reputation, destroying and making it clear that we should not, or the people should not listen to me, the whole story had this as the main objective. And I think that you have to get this as the political side of this story, this sad story, and to understand in which way politically it was used. Now if you come to the case, the way I was put in jail, the way I was treated, now I'm vocal. I'm able to speak out and to say what happened to me is happening to so many Arabs and Muslims in the European jails, in the French jails, as it's happening for black and Muslims in the American jails. That's the reality of it, and we have to be clear that there is discrimination, stigmatization, racism that is at stake in the whole issue. And I was a symbol. To destroy me meant let the people understand. If you want to be vocal, you have to face the reality. And it happened to Tariq Ramadan now, it could happen to anyone in the future. Anyone who is vocal, men and women, you need to know that this could happen. So we need also to be quite clear and equipped, intellectually speaking, socially speaking, with this, to understand in which way we have to carry on our struggle for more justice, for more dignity, for making it clear that Islam is a Western religion and the Western Muslims are citizens and they are here to remain. Not only this, to be an added value to the society, to help this society to be more consistent with their own values and to respect humanity everywhere, not only in the United States of America, not only in Europe, not only in France, but also in African countries, also in China, also in Palestine and Israel. And that we have to be clear that the Yemeni or the Bangladeshi or the Kashmiri are people who should be respected, and we are in our societies involved not only to protect our rights, but to speak out for the victims, the oppressed people everywhere, whatever their religion. Jews, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, atheists. That's not the problem. The problem for us is just to be involved in this struggle everywhere. And this is the voice I try to translate. And I know it's dangerous. I know this is something that we don't want to hear. And I was told, you are a target. So now it happened, and I think that you have to be aware that beyond the moral issue, you need to deal with the political setup, because involved in this case, now we know the plaintiffs lied, the women, they knew each other. They tried to seduce, and they were talking about planning to trap me before even meeting with me. So it was a plot, it was a political setup. So, and this could happen to anyone. So the fact now that the media are talking about the moral side, just to neutralize the Muslims, unable, because they are involved in moral assessment, to understand the political dimension of this is doubly dangerous. Doubly dangerous because at the end they are silenced because they are morally involved, while they should be silent when it comes to the morality, but they should be vocal when it comes to the political dimension, and they have to understand that this is for the dignity of every one of us. Let me tell you something. Some thought that through this story I'm going to be destroyed, that I was going to be silenced, and I am not going to be involved anymore. It's the opposite which is happening. Through this story, what is now the reality, and I thank God for this, and all the people, I have to say thanks to all the people who have been involved with me, supporting me, my wife, my family, the friends and brothers and sisters around me, helping me to be there and to be stronger. Now, spiritually, intellectually, socially, I'm stronger today than I was yesterday. And now I'm ready for the struggle. I'm ready to just carry on the work and to say I'm not going to give up. I'm going to speak out for the oppressed, in the name of the human dignity, everywhere in the world. I'm not going to be silent about Palestine. I'm not going to be silent about Yemen. I'm not going to be silent about Kashmir. I'm not going to be silent about Tibetans. I'm not going to be silent about the environment. Everything, any specific issue where human dignity is involved, our voice should be there. And I'm part of this process. What I went through is giving me more strength, more determination, and even more faith. And for this, I thank God. And I thank you, because some of you are following, supporting. Others were just not knowing what to do exactly. That's for you, your own personal effort and your own personal test to know how do you deal with this issue and what will be the future for you, for us together, inshallah. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Life is fragile. Peace be with you.